Hello and welcome to Late Night Story with Dr.Lucius. This story is written by J4YBUGG. Make sure you follow him. I will have his link in the description with the link to the original story. Now let's get into the story itself. I work as a delivery driver for a small carrier company. It's a pretty solitary job, but it pays the bill. Last week, I was assigned a late night delivery to an address that wasn't in our usual system, a big old mansion on the edge of the town. I didn't think much of it. Sometimes clients use our services for unusual hours or locations. When I arrived, the house was almost completely shrouded in darkness. Everything mashed up. The large iron gates creaked open slowly, and I drove up the winding driveway to the front of the mansion. I knocked on the heavy door, and it swung open almost immediately, revealing an elderly woman in long dark dress. Her face was obscured by shadows, but her voice was gentle and firm. She thanked me for coming and asked me to leave the package inside for her, as she was too frail to carry it herself. I carried the package, an unmarked, simple cardboard box, into the foyer. The inside of the mansion was dimly lit, with dusty, antique furniture and oppressive, musty smell. The woman led me to a small, lit room with a large mirror. She pointed to a table in front of the mirror and told me to put it there. I set the box down, and as I did, I noticed something odd about the reflection in the mirror. The room behind me appeared perfectly normal, but the reflection showed a much older version of the room, with cobwebs and decay. I turned to ask the woman about it, but she was gone. The door behind me was now shut tightly, and the light flickered erratically. I felt a sudden chill and a creeping sense of dread. I knocked on the door, but there was no response. A soft, unsettling whisper echoed through the room, and I noticed that the reflection in the mirror was starting to change. The old, decayed room in the mirror was growing more chaotic. Shadows seemed to move and twist, and ghostly figures appeared briefly before vanishing. Suddenly, a cold draft swept through the room, and candles flickered out. In the pitch black darkness, I could hear a faint whisper growing louder with my own panic breaths. I tried the door again and again, but it remained stubbornly closed. My heart raced as I fumbled for my phone to call for help, but my signal was dead. The whispers grew into incoherent murmurs as I felt a presence closing on me. I was desperate now. I reached for the box that I had delivered, hoping it might somehow offer an escape or an answer. As I lifted the lid, I found it empty except for a small, old-fashioned key and a note, although I remember it feeling heavy. The note read, "Thank you for your service. You may stay as long as you wish." A freezing cold hand touched my shoulder as I read, and I spun around to find the elderly woman standing there, her face now visible and twisted in a grin. Her eyes were hollow and black, and the room seemed to distort around her. Without thinking, I grabbed the key and forced it into the lock on the side of the mirror. The mirror surface rippled like water, and I had just enough time to step through before the room was consumed by darkness. Now, while I'm typing this out, I'm trapped on the other side. The mansion is as old and as decayed as the reflection showed, and the whispers are all around me. Every night, I see the delivery driver through the mirror, and I know that the next person to answer the late night call will end up just like me. The room I'm in, it holds a sense of comfort and unknowing. I have seen a cap just like mine, and I swear I've seen some bones laying around. I'm scared, and the worst part, I don't think anyone will notice I'm missing or call for help. Thank you for listening to the story and enjoying the video. Please drop a follow so you can be in the loop for the next narration. Please comment down your suggestions, and until next time, this is Dr. Lucius out.